You know what they say.
All toasters toast toast.
Okay, so I have found myself acquainted with this fellow, which does just kind of look like a random Android phone glued into a plastic case. And there's a very good reason for that based on the things that I've read online about this. This is, of course, actually the machine that the restaurant uses to ask you for tip money. As you can tell by the large card slot and reader at the top. What do I have to hand? Yep. This is something that made its way to me via my local e-waste store. As anybody from the Seattle area will recognize the RePC price tag here at the top, which I have yet to take off. Now, anybody who knows me will tell you that I have a bit of a sucker for repurposing sort of this public service, public retail equipment for goofy-ass use. Directly behind me is an NCR cash register computer that I'm actually using as my weather station. I have gamed on that before, importantly, but that's actually somewhat boring, as it is just kind of a Intel Celeron from 7 or 8 years ago. And of course, Intel's iGPUs can run most games that you would ever want to play, by which I mean Portal 2 and older, pretty well, anyways. It can run Portal 2 pretty well, and whenever you can already run the greatest game ever made, what's the purpose of doing anything more than that? I have left a horrible sticker mess. I'm gonna go fix that. Okay, that looks a bit better. Thank God for being transgender, because it means I have alcohol wipes everywhere. Yes, this is of course another retail point of sale device. My history with industrial hardware is quite wide. I mentioned my NCR gaming cash register earlier, but of course also back behind me is something that I have not gamed on, but I have thoroughly gotten enjoyment out of, which is the gate to terminal signage from my old home in Pittsburgh International Airport. So why did I get this from my local e-waste shop? Well, of course, it's all rather... Yeah, see, this is not typically the sort of thing that you'd like to see whenever you are looking at a device like this, because it probably means you're never going to be able to get the dock to power it. Thankfully, of course, before I actually purchased it, I went online and punched the model number in, which I now don't remember what it is, and it was on the sticker that I just removed. That's great going. There we go, it is the Toast TG100. According to the FCC filing, here's a phone. Of course, that is basically what this is with a fancy case on it. But you'll notice up there at the very top, there's supposedly a micro USB port that is hidden up here. As to whether or not that is true, I don't know. It was cheap enough that it's not ultimately a huge deal if not, and indeed, the docks for these are not only plentiful, but they make generic ones for surprisingly cheap. This particular one is not exactly in great condition, which is fair. It has been in a retail/restaurant environment. It's pretty beat up. I'm a little concerned with how the bezels appear to be coming apart here. Could be poor construction, or it could be a battery bulging. I really hope it isn't that. There's two buttons at the side that don't do anything at the moment. Let's get to the toolkit. Everything is going well so far. I can only hope that remains the case for the rest of the time that the camera is running. Let's see if that bezel comes off. Oh, yes. Very easily. Sure does look like a micro USB port to me. Let's take that out. Cool. So is this just a... It's got the Toast logo. This is just a big-ass phone. So this is the thing that it was plugged into. This is the card-reading doohickey. There's no electrical connectors or sensors or anything. There's just the micro USB connector. And the phone. This is now just the world's thickest smartphone. Jesus, that thing's huge. Oh, with a removable back. I may not have selected a great time to trim my fingernails. Come to me, the opening tool. I cannot find the opening tool, so I'm just gonna do the least safe thing imaginable and use this knife. There we go, Jesus. Big ass, removable back. Wow, there's literally nothing underneath there. The spec sheet said that there was an SD card slot here, and yet I do not see one. How very interesting. Manufacture date of October 12th, 2019, which is not that old. Okay, so now that we have already reduced our fun objects to a very thick Android phablet, I have a micro USB connected to power that we're just going to plug right in. There we go. Oh, Battery. This was listed as untested at RePC, as things there often are, so I obviously have no idea what's going to happen. Nothing. Okay, let's give it a few minutes. Alright, I will say, while it's charging still, I have determined very clearly that the fact that the plastic case is staying on is just because it's very broken. It's only held on with clips, well, and the screws, obviously, but it's very busted. So it's okay, the battery's fine, maybe, who knows. Can't thumbs up with the camera like this. There we go, that's good enough. Hurts my wrist though. It is absolutely disgusting though, so I'm gonna clean that while we're waiting. Again, can't hype it up enough. Being transgender, good way to accumulate an excess of these alcohol prep pads that you can use to clean sticky objects. So the thing about working with stuff like this, right, is that, of course, I live in the Seattle area, which is a great place to find bizarro e-waste and other such nonsense. I've, of course, previously at RePC found a prototype Xbox 360 controller, which I then sold to the local used game store for enough to buy a reasonable amount of Nintendo 64 games. That was quite good. Now, of course, worth noting, this came from not the Seattle location, this came from the Tukwila location, which is, of course, in the absolute middle of nowhere and is a pain in the ass to get to, so I only go like once a month or so. The main reason it's a pain in the ass to get to, of course, is that, of course, you have to bug your girlfriend to get out of bed at 10 in the morning, so the two of you can go to Pancake Chef first. That's the important thing. Whoa! Well, I was looking up the manual, but now it's actually going, so I don't need to. I could also put the alcohol wipes away. Oh, alright, fair enough. That's fine though, I'm still done with the alcohol wipes. Again, these come in a box of 6 from Costco for like $5. It's great stuff. Can I turn it on? Maybe. This is still loading. Oh! 7:04 p.m., Wednesday, December 31st. This is, I mean, I knew this was going to be Android. Obviously it was going to be Android. You can put your, is this a clean install of Android? Has nobody left anything fun? They have the download toast point of sales thing and the card reader software. That's probably not going to work right now. Settings. Yep, this is crusty ass Android. About phone. Android, oh no, Android 5.1.1, that's not super great. Although this build is from 2021, which is pretty damn recent. Okay, that's not great in terms of how the screen looks on camera. It is actually that dim in real life, which is particularly strange. Do I want to connect this to the internet? That's a great question. That's a phenomenon. This is just regular Android. I was ready for this to be PayDroid. PayDroid is, of course, the Bizarro lockdown customized version of Android. Yeah, there's nothing on there. The Bizarro locked down customized version of Android that these POS companies will often use, which effectively disables doing literally anything. This is regular Android by the looks of it. Oh boy, it's been a long time since I've had to do this. Do I tap this a bunch of times? Oh, that's okay. Well, that's not what I thought it was. What do I have to do to enable debug? Is it that one? Oh. Okay, I guess there's no security on this. There's nothing funny here at all. USB debugging is actually already enabled. This is just oh man. This isn't fun at all. This is just an Android thing. I mean, it'll be fun whenever I get to plug it back into the card reader and do something, but right now it's just a really thick phone. I really can't stress that enough. Where's my phone at, for comparison's sake? It is really thick. What can I do while I'm waiting for this to charge up more so I can put it back in the doohickey? What does the Snapdragon thing do? Oh. Okay, fair enough. You can see my horrible camera. Cool. I have taken a photo of you. What is Magtech test? BLE EMV devices. Scary. Audio. Oh, I don't like any of this. What? Oh god, what does any of this do? Go away, please. Oh, I'm scared. I'm gonna break everything, which is actually fine, but I'm gonna break this in a way that I don't understand. File manager. Yes, that's not particularly exciting. Wait a second, this is the this is from CyanogenMod, god damn it. We're back in open source bullshit land. Alright, what else is there? Download Toast POS. That's just gonna open a web page, which is obviously not gonna go anywhere because I don't have it plugged in. It opened a generic browser and now it's telling me things. Yes, I am offline, and that much is true. I'm scared to connect this to the Wi-Fi because, of course, Toast is a company that still exists. Ask the many coffee shops I've been to recently. What do you mean low battery? It's plugged in. No, go away. Okay. Oh, well. This is a device with a dipshit wonky charger port, isn't it? I mean, I guess why wouldn't it be? It's not like it's had a micro USB sitting in there from the day it was made or anything. We're just gonna let this go for like, I don't know, an hour? Or however long, I don't know. Just press the stop recording button. Oh my god, what happened? What the what did this man... Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta go wake up my wife, hold on.
We're about to witness the best body swap of all time.
Alright, if you excuse me, I have some festivities to attend to. Okay. No, I'm not okay, 1 second. Delightful. Okay. Let's come back to this guy. It has been probably half an hour, and he has charged 6%, which is not optimal. We're gonna fiddle around a little bit more, and then I'm gonna plug it into the computer where it will probably charge faster. Going to go download the thing that it says to download. Did it just open a web browser to an APK page? Yes, that's exactly what it did. Awesome. Oh, there we go. Jesus. Open. Or don't open. I can't make you do anything. Why did it download it twice? Is the answer to annoy me. Can't open file. Awesome. This is this is going very well already. Can I get a wireless update? I'm gonna guess the answer to that one's probably no. Trust anchor for certification, path not found. Awesome, that's an even worse answer. Okay, that's enough. No more random toys. Time for the real computer to show up. The real computer and the real ADB. That's the actual part. ADB devices. ADB devices. Oh, there it is. Yep, that was fairly easy. Although it says unauthorized, which is slightly scary. It may help if I press the authorize button or the trust button on the device. There we go. Device. I would argue that that's true, by the way that it quite clearly is. Okay, so I have transferred the weird APK from the phone onto here, so we're going to try forcing it via ADB and see what happens. Install failed, older SDK. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? Okay, so the website downloads a version that's too new for this particular device, which is interesting because I just pressed the button on there and it just went straight to it. I tried the URL that it goes to. It's excluded from archive.org, so whatever. I found a version from 2019 on one of the shady APK websites, so we're just gonna install that as soon as I remember to add a space in the command.
Hello there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, excellent. I can finally do point of sales things on my point of sale device. We are going to toast point of sale. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. We now have a device that actually does the thing that... never mind. I'm not signing into anything. Do I look like the kind of person who works in a restaurant? I mean, yes, but, you know, I can see why this was at the e-waste store. Alright, well, you've had your chance. Let's go, let's take you away to the land of toast gaming. Ah. It has done the important thing and has put a link on there, which, whenever you click it, it shows the extremely important thing that is taking for... It shows you an ad for the current generation of devices, so that's... Why are all companies evil? This is amazing. Okay, that's enough out of you. Welcome back. As you can presumably see here, it's time for Toast Gaming. It is a moment like this that calls for celebration, so for that we are going to bring a nice toast snack into the... Wait, that's just bread. Hold on a second. Okay, it is now time for a pleasant celebratory toast snack. Excellent. Beautiful. This bit has gone on for long enough and I'm enjoying the toast too much. Anyways, I'm going to put that over there for later enjoyment. So, this was not a process that went particularly smoothly. The general installing of things on here, that is to say. There were two problems. The first one was one that was surmountable only after figuring out what the hell was going on. So initially, whenever I went to install apps on here, I would install one, and then it would just immediately be deleted with no visual feedback or anything whatsoever. And I got quite a bit lost about this, and then I went digging and found the Toast Watchdog Lite, which was deleting everything in order to be annoying, I assume. So I pressed the button that I thought would remove it, but in actuality, all it did was force stop, which gave me the false security of thinking everything was okay. And then I rebooted it, and it started again and proceeded to remove everything. So that was nice. Then I put it in timeout for a while because I was very mad at it. It's my device, you don't get to do that. And then I simply forcibly removed it from via ADB, which was fine. I did that actually with most of the Toast apps because I got scared they were secretly spying on me and going to explode the device that I had bought because I was using it for reasons other than the intended purpose. Also, the actual reason that I uninstalled them is actually the third major problem that we had, which is that this is a device with 4 gigabytes of internal storage. Well, actually, 5 gigabytes of internal storage. I think it has 8 gigs, but everything is being taken up by the system. I don't know, but anyways, as you can see, I've used all but 252 megabytes of it, and that's even after I had to delete some stuff. So that's great. The real problem, the truly annoying thing, is that, of course, this is a device that was made in 2019. This is now covered in toast crumbs, so funny. This is a device that was made in 2019, and yet runs Android 5, which is of course ancient software from the before times, which means that our application support was fairly limited. It means that we don't really have a lot of the good native ports of things to Android, and also we don't have a good number of emulators. There's no DuckStation, which is really annoying. Dolphin didn't work. I can't use the PlayStation 2 emulator, although I will admit that was a fairly lofty goal. I also don't have Google Play services, so I am somewhat stopped there. I had to go download all of my APKs from shady websites. I also had to install an old version, the old engine version of Zash 3D, but that's okay, ultimately. As you can see here, I have installed 5 things that actually work, which is kind of sad, but that's okay, because we have Zash 3D, which is the important one. We have Undertale and Deltarune, both of the very shady Game Maker Android ports. Mupen 64 Plus, that is an old version, but it does still work fine. And EPSXE, again, not DuckStation, because DuckStation never supported Android 5. I have also installed Discord. That is actually a modded version of a very old Discord application that works on modern Discord service. I installed that solely to say that I was posting from the Toast handheld, which I haven't done yet. Let me go do that real quick, actually. Another problem that I am having, that I'm only just noticing, is that I unplugged this like 10 minutes ago and it's already lost 6% of the battery. So let's go ahead and get this video underway. I also installed VLC, which is extremely important for reasons we'll get to at the end. I have just now put it back in the dock, actually, which means I have plugged in these things, and I have not tested them yet, so we're going to press the card reader button. Oh, there we go. I had to switch it to USB. Okay, so if I swipe my Orca card now, will it do anything?
What is an Orca card?
Oh, the answer to that is still no, unless I'm doing it upside down. Listen, I don't fucking know how any of this stuff works. It clearly sees it, but it doesn't actually, like, do anything. Well, it sees it, and I don't know how to use it. The way I see it, there was really only one thing that you have to do whenever you get basically any device these days. And it's not put Doom on it. It's sometimes put Mario 64 on it, depending on how old it is, which, ironically enough, I actually couldn't do that with this, because all the Android ports require significantly newer versions of Android. No, it's play Half-Life. I have no background, but I do have the new game button. Oh. Yes, okay. Oh, beautiful. These controls are not very good. Hold on a minute. Hold on, let's solve this. Let me go grab a peripheral that also is not meant to be something that we game on. The Google Stadia controller. Okay, now we're talking. Stadia. Oh, paired and connected. Okay, let's see. Yes, beautiful. Okay, the on-screen controls are still there, which isn't great, but it's very difficult to see. So I gotta either hold it up close or... And then I only have the one hand for the controller. No, this is bad. Well, this wooden radio chassis. allow me. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. I would like the on-screen controls to go away. Okay. There we go. Now we just have our quick save buttons. I don't know how this is bound. The answer's probably wrong. Look, it's fine. Look, it's perfectly fine. This is like 60 FPS. I have no qualms about this. Zero qualms about this whatsoever. I could play this any day, especially if I am at work and have to use the Toast handheld. I forgot how long the sequence is. Ah, whatever. Look, it's fine. It's Half-Life. It's Half-Life and it runs at 60 FPS. Could you possibly be mad about that? Could you really be mad about the device that tells you all of the ridiculous service fees that management charges you whenever you go to a restaurant can play Half-Life? That seems to be like an actually reasonable use of the technology. This one I don't think has controller support, which is going to make this much more obnoxious. Does not have controller support. I don't know what I did there. Okay, we're playing this one hands only. Yeah, I know how to play Undertale. I have been alive in the I am a Zoomer that has been alive within the past 10 years. Sorry, this keyboard is not exactly easy to use at an angle. It's also not easy to use at all. Here's the thing, right? This is an illicit port using the Game Maker engine, and it does have nice custom controller graphics and everything, but that doesn't mean it's actually optimized. Thankfully, you don't need to type too much in this game, so that's fine. Yes. No. Yes, that's my name. That's a smart thing to name the fallen human. Look, it's that guy. I've been told he's a twink, but I don't really understand that. Listen, it's personal policy that I have to fall for the friendliness pellets thing every time, because I fell for it the first time I played the game. Alright, I have made a save file, which is very important because it means I can now quit and not feel bad about it. I'm playing this at a bit of an inopportune angle, in a bit of an inopportune port, if it seems like I'm doing badly at it. I promise, I'm not bad at Undertale. I do in fact know how to play a video game. The anime cat girl is here. Excellent. I am going to quit now. That seems like enough for a short demo. You could, in fact, play the Toby Fox game on this thing. The other Toby Fox game might be a bit more difficult. Let's find out. I'm going to be honest, again, all of these are somewhat illicit APKs from GameJolt.com, where most of the Android games appear to be ports of Sonic and or FNAF games. But that's where I got the Undertale one from, and you saw that worked, apart from the worst control scheme ever. What is going on? Oh, this one has controller support. Oh, good. Except I don't want to start from Chapter 1. This APK said it had Chapter 5, which of course came out like 2 weeks ago. No idea if that's actually accurate. This is taking forever. I'm going to have a bite of toast. This has been sitting here too long. Okay, maybe this doesn't work. It's been like a minute and a half. Let's try again. I don't know why it decided to go ahead and launch Chapter 1 without asking me. There we go. No, I don't want to start from Chapter 1. Controller doesn't work now. What the hell? What if I press no on starting from Chapter 1? Okay. I have somehow broken controller support by simply going in and rebinding. That's awesome. I'm going to click Chapter 4 because I think that's the fastest I'll be able to get into combat. Maybe it'll work after we actually get to the game. Maybe it won't. The good news is that the dog is here, if nothing else. Okay, that's enough for you. We can go in and uninstall that because it doesn't work. There's probably one that does work. I just need to find the APK. And the problem now is that whilst I would love to get an APK that actually works, I would have to ADB it over the network or just download it directly on here because, of course, the USB port is now hiding under here again, and I put the screwdrivers away. N64 emulation. Finally, something worth doing. I put 6 games on here because emulating Mario 64 isn't really that much of a feat these days. Oh, there we go. Does this have controller support? I sure hope it does. Oh, excellent. We're dropping some frames, but like it's mostly fine. I really wanted to find a native port of Mario 64 to this, but none of them liked Android 5. Even the builder, even the thing to build your own port on Android, for Android, did not like Android 5. And I wasn't going to compile from source for a video this silly. Mario. Okay, we get a little bit of slowdown, but it's fine. We have a lot of slowdown because of this fucking cutscene. The camera in this game isn't great whenever I'm not playing through a camera viewfinder, and I'm now playing through a camera viewfinder. Be free, my dog-like friend. Good enough. I'm gonna save and then quit. It's Mario 64. It would honestly be more impressive if it couldn't emulate it. I've put some other games on here that are probably going to be more difficult to emulate. I have Mario Kart 64, which is actually not that difficult to emulate apart from the stupid-ass frame buffer. Smash 64, which likes to slow down. Ocarina of Time, which is a little bit of a pain. Dobutsu no Mori, because of course Dolphin didn't work, so I had to install a GameCube game somewhere. And Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is a very, very difficult game to emulate. At all on any platform, as far as I can tell, which means it's probably not going to work well here. Let's try Mario Kart. I don't think I'm going to play enough to actually see if the frame buffer thing works, because I don't care that much. I'm not going for emulation realism. I'm not going for emulation accuracy. I am going for what is funniest to play on the credit card machine. What happened? Oh my god. This is not a great sign. I also don't have much Mario Kart 64 experience, which makes this a much worse one. Yeah, frame buffers in Choco Mountain, which I'm not playing. Oh, the blinking is really bad. This has not started well. I've had enough. I prefer my double dash, but it wouldn't run on here. Smash? I'm going to smash you if you don't start listening to me better. Oh, the slowdown. Link is bad in Smash 64. Come on. Link is bad in Smash 64, despite being my main in any of the other Smash games. So I'm not a Smash 64 player. This is not going well. I'm not an N64 person at all, actually. That's enough. I've humiliated myself in front of the camera for enough. No, Ship of Harkinian does not work on Android 5. Yes, I did look into it. Now that it's Dusklight, for that matter, although I think that one would be relatively silly, given it just came out. At least this runs normally. Enough, anyways. I'm not really playing deep enough to get to any of the intensive sequences, but, yep. I keep hitting the B button because I'm not used to the N64 controller layout. We need to get to the PlayStation stuff so I can stop being confused. Good enough. Listen, it's one of the most important games of all time, and probably one of the best games of all time, and it runs at, like, nearly good, perfectly cromulent FPS on on the device that you use to pay your restaurant tab. I would call that a victory. Okay, this is not going well so far. I realized I've made the mistake of starting a new Animal Crossing save. I'm not going to do that. That runs better than I would have expected. Let's go to Evangelion, which will almost certainly not run because it runs on basically nothing. I don't know what it is. It's got some sort of proprietary shader bullshit going on. It's also not a great game, which is a bigger barrier. Okay, this is doing better than I would have expected for a device like this. Of course, I would have expected nothing from a device like this. Oh, okay, now it's getting bad. And I keep hitting the... Oh, okay, hitting the B button made it work, it's fine. Listen, this game is absolutely dog shit awful in terms of gameplay, but like... Damn, they made some cool-ass environments and 3D models for this. Like this one, for example. Okay, we've had enough. I am pleasantly surprised. Look, ultimately, it is good that the credit card terminal can play N64 games. Where are we on it? Oh, we've wasted a quarter of the battery. Okay, let's get the rest of the shit on the road. PlayStation X. Not with DuckStation, but with the significantly worse EPS XE. I'll start with Gran Turismo since it's the first one on the list. Going to slide that into the bottom of the frame for the remainder of this segment. None of my controller controls are bound. I'm actually curious enough about PSX that I'm going to go and fix this. Oh. Okay, thank God. All right, okay. Let's try this for realsies. Yep. Really forget the shift button. Okay, so configured that. What's the next game we should try? Let's try Parappa, a game I've actually never played before, which seems like a really good way to test a piece of hardware that I also know surprisingly little about. It's fine. It's fine, but Jesus God, never let me play a rhythm game on camera, only through the camera ever again. Finally, some important gaming. Great start. This video has been awful for showing actually how capable I am of playing video games, which I promise is more than this. I have played this game before. I played quite a lot of this game before. I'm not this clueless, I'm just playing it through the viewfinder. But it does run, so, you know, that's good enough. Okay. What's the next thing? Yes, I have put Serial Experiments Lane, the PlayStation 1 game, on here. Here is the worst on-screen keyboard I've ever seen. It's also all Kana, so obviously I can't do much with it. I remember this, I only vaguely remember this from a video essay I watched many years ago. It's a great video from Hazel, I fully recommend. Basically, in conclusion, can you game on the funny credit card reader terminal? The answer to that seems to be mostly no, but also sometimes yes, and that's extremely important. So, you know, that's a good tip to remember next time you go out to a restaurant and somebody hands you one of these. I'm going to leave you with one extremely important video clip for the road.